see. I wish I wasn't diabetic. I wish I could fly. And I wish I was rich instead of so damn good looking. That's 3 wishes. It's Drewski McGillicuddy's Wishmaster movie review. Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and I saw something today that said 20 years ago today, this movie had came out, but then I realized that it can't be possible, because if it came out in 1997, it didn't come out 20 years ago. Well, I guess it did come out 20 years ago, but it was like... yeah. Wishmaster from 1997, presented by Wes Craven, but not directed by Wes Craven. And this movie starts out in like Persia or somewhere in like 1117 AD. This guy's throwing this party and it's not really going to plan. He wanted to have like a party that would go down in history, not like a party that would go down in infamy as the most horrific thing to ever happen up until the party later on in the movie. So basically, this guy tells this jinn, which is kind of a genie, but more of a demon than anything. He tells him, hey, I want to have a party that everybody will remember. So some shit starts happening that you can't forget. Like there's a lizard guy. There's people walking around. There's like snakes coming out of things and eating people's faces, and like it's all kinds of messed up. But luckily, this whole time during the opening credits, there is a wizard, and he is formulating a formula to come up with a gemstone material that he could form into a gemstone, and then go trap the jinn inside of the gemstone. Okay? And that's what he does. That's what he does. And then they entrap this thing inside of a statue so that nobody will ever find this gemstone. And then we fast forward to present day time, and there's this drunk asshole operating this fucking crane that shouldn't be operating a crane. And he spills his jack in coffee and kills a guy. So then we fast forward to present day and we meet Alex. And Alex is playing tennis with her best friend Josh. And we find out that Josh has, those, he doesn't want to be in the friend zone anymore. He wants to take her out to dinner and a movie, but she'd rather go to a baseball game and have a hot dog. I don't know why my camera just cut off. But anyway, ball game and a hot dog, okay? And it turns out, I guess they kind of work together, but I forgot. I'm getting ahead of myself. So we're in present day, and we're on a big ocean liner, and it's got this crate that they're lowering off of this ocean liner, and there's this guy, and he's been putting Jack Daniels in his coffee, or Jim Beam, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. Point is, he's been drinking on the job, and the guy tells him, hey, jackass, that's a valuable artifact that you're about to drop and kill me with. And then he drops it and kills the guy with it. And then this guy, he goes to help clean up the accident, notices this big giant ruby or whatever gemstone, so he pockets it, and then he ends up at a pawn shop, and then that pawn shop ends up taking it to this place to have it appraised, and then our main character is playing the tennis with her best friend, and then she's the one that's going to appraise this gemstone, but she needs to know more information about it, so she gives it to her best friend, who's the gemologist, and then one day he's messing around with it in the lab, sticks it in the computer, and it wakes up the djinn, and he doesn't like being woken up inside the computer. So he blows it up and kills this guy, and then this is where the fun starts. This is where the fun really starts, because this slimy, disgusting-looking creature that doesn't look a goddamn thing like the djinn at the beginning of the movie, so you're kind of wondering, what the fuck is this thing? And he asked the guy, he's like, are you in tremendous pain? And the guy's like, yeah, man, it fucking hurts. So he's like, hey, just tell me you don't want to be in any pain anymore, and I'll fix it. And he's like, okay, I don't want to be in any pain anymore. So he fixes it by killing him, basically. But it's a very painful death, which is weird because, you know, he kind of wished to not be in pain, so you put him in more pain before he wasn't in any pain. That's kind of a dick move, dude. And you'll learn that. You'll learn that any time you ask this guy for anything, he's going to make you fucking regret it. And that's the point of this movie, and that's what makes it work so well as a horror film. Because, I don't know, I really should have did my research on this, because whoever made this had like one of the most active imaginations you could possibly imagine. When he dies, she feels it, and it's like, you know, every time somebody makes a wish, or every time somebody dies, she feels it. Like, it runs through her. And I thought that was a nice little touch. Since she's the one that woken up, she gets to kind of feel everybody's pain that's being put through the ringer, so to speak, by our titular djinn. Now, speaking of which, let's talk about this djinn. The design, the character design for this is one of my favorite designs. Like, he's like one of the coolest looking monsters in modern cinema. Probably one of the most underrated movie monsters out there. Not to mention, like, once he there's a scene where he goes and he puts somebody's face on because he's in the morgue, and he's cutting this guy's face off, and this guy's like, ah! And he's like, I take it this is something you do not wish to see. And he says, uh-huh. And then, you know, I'll presto changeo, he's got no eyeballs. But yeah, I thought that was a nice touch, because I guess they don't want to have him walking around looking like this scary ass fucking monster the whole time. So that was save on special effects, because, like, you know, towards the third act they go all the way out on special effects, and it's pretty fucking amazing. But anyway, once the djinn takes the soul, or like gets the wish from this guy who's dying, all of a sudden he grows legs and his arms come out. He goes from looking like this weird little, almost fetus in a cocoon, to like being able to walk and stand up. But he kind of looks like the one little, like, what do you call him? Not a gremlin. There's things that are in Legend with Tom Cruise and Tim Curry, which I need to fucking review because I haven't seen that fucking movie in 20-something years. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about Wishmaster and how cool this djinn looks. Like, even when he's slimy and, like, you know, not fully developed, he still kind of looks cool. And then once he turns into the djinn, he looks really fucking cool. So my favorite scene in the movie is, like, basically our introduction to him after he's not in, I don't know, it's not necessarily the introduction to him, but you kind of get, you know, just, you kind of get to fucking see his personality shine through just a little bit more, because there's this homeless guy and he's walking past this pharmacy, and this lady's walking in, and he's like, can you spare some change? And she says, I understand if you don't have any change, if not, I'll take $1. She's like, I ain't got nothing. And he's like, all right, well, I'll stand here and wait. So he's sitting there looking in the window at her all weird, and the pharmacist comes out, and they exchange some words.
I hope you die, you sack of shit. I hope you die, and I hope you float down the gutter so I can fucking piss on you.
Talking about, fuck you, no, fuck you, you motherfucker. And then he starts telling him, I hope something crawls up your urethra and then bites your testicles or something. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. But as he's walking, hurling these insults and whatnots, the djinn is in the alley looking all homeless and says, do you mean these curses that you hurl so freely? And he's like, you're goddamn right I do. And he says something about offering something, and he said, I ain't got nothing but a cigarette and a handshake. Basically, he gets him to wish that the pharmacist would get cancer and die. And then he gets fucking cancer and dies at like an accelerated amount or accelerated speed. Like it's fucking gross, man. I don't know if I can find the clip or if it's already playing or if you can see what I'm talking about. But even the fucking homeless guy that wished this dude would get cancer and die sees this happen, and he's like, ah! And he runs away, and it's fucking great. It's like one of my favorite fucking scenes in a horror movie. And there's a lot of scenes like that in this movie because this guy's a trickster. He's going around, he's constantly tricking people into fucking, making these wishes. Like when he goes and gets his face, the guy didn't want to see it, so he took his eyeballs. And then he goes into this department store and puts on this rad looking suit that I really, really like because that blue tie with the black, and the guy wears the suit really well. And he's got like these piercing blue eyes. Did I mention, like, sure, the djinn looks cool, but this fucking actor that is playing the djinn, even without the fucking makeup on, he almost looks more threatening in human form than he does in djinn form. It's just so weird saying djinn. Like, it's like, do you know that I'm saying the D? I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know how to spell. But the D is silent, I know that. So the djinn, Jinn, with a D at the beginning of it. Anyway, the motherfucker is intimidating looking. And sometimes his voice, like, kind of slightly bothers me because he's, like, emphasizes shit too much. Like, wishes. I don't have any other examples. Do you know what I mean when I say things? I can talk like this too. Am I doing a good job? What would you wish if you had 3 wishes? Leave it in the comments section below. Or do not. I do not care. Anyway, back to the movie. So yeah, this dude is fucking badass. One of the fucking most underrated monsters ever put in a movie. Like his performance, aside from I guess he's an ancient deity, so like he wouldn't talk like us, because he doesn't talk like us, which is the thing. So anyway, so Erin slowly starts to find out that she needs to find out what the fuck's going on. So she tracks down the gemstone. Actually, she had the gemstone, so she tracked down where it came from, went and talked to the guy that where it came from, found it, and then went and talked to people that actually knew about the statue or whatever that this gemstone came from, which is weird. That's the one weird thing, because like as far as I can recollect, she was talking to Robert Englund's character who plays Frank Beaumont. Beaumont? Is it Frank Beaumont? I was going to say Belmont, like a Castlevania reference. Anyway, don't worry about that. We get on with the movie review. So she goes and talks to this guy who was the one that ordered the statue, and she says, was it bejeweled? He said, no, they didn't bejewel it. But little did they know there was a stone on the inside. So he told her to go talk to this lady that knows a little bit more about it than she does. So, the movie is her trying to do the research to find out where this stone's coming from, because every time somebody wishes for something or their soul gets removed, she feels it. It flows through her. Like when she see, I was talking about the suit earlier, and the scene where he goes and gets the suit, and there's this really cute black girl, there's this really cute black girl waiting on him, and he says, it's nice to see beauty still exist in this world today, or whatever the hell he says to her. He's very suave, very smooth character. And he says, don't you wish your beauty would last forever? And she says, yes. And he walks away, and then they pan over, and then this lady walks by looking for the cashier, and the cashier was just standing there, but now it's just a mannequin. And I thought that was like all the fucking kills and wishes and stuff in this are extremely creative. Like one of the best, but at the same time worst scenes in the movie. I mean, it's the best Probably the best scene in the movie aside from the homeless guy. But the special effects that went into it, they used that late 90s CGI, and we all know that late 90s CGI definitely don't hold up in 2019. Not that it held up back then, but I kind of do remember this scene where he's trying to go find more information out about Aaron, and he goes to the Belmont house, or Beaumont. Is it Belmont? DeMont? I don't know. She goes to Robert Englund's house, but it's not on Elm Street. And Kane Hodder, of all people, son of a bitch. Robert Englund and Kane Hodder are in this fucking movie together. But they couldn't be in Freddy versus Jason? That sounds like a fucking rant video for another day. Anyway, but seriously, Kane Hodder plays a security guard at Robert Englund's house. You're going to have to excuse me. This just now dawned on me live while we're fucking recording. That fucking pisses me off. Robert Englund and Kane Hodder, they're never on screen together. But he is guarding Robert Englund's house in the movie. He comes out and he tells this guy, hey man, we're closed. And he's like, well, I want to talk to the owner. And he's like, well, you only talk to him with appointment only. Wait a minute, it wasn't even Robert Englund's house. It was the goddamn person that works at the appraisal place where Aaron works, that owns the appraisal place. But anyway, it's beside the point, because he comes out and he tells him we're closed. Appointments after hour, or yeah, you're only allowed in by appointment after hours, basically, is what the gist of what he tells him. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, something. Hold on, I do know what he says. He says, isn't it a bitch having all the power in the world, but only being able to do anything with it if somebody wishes for something or asks you for something? And he says, you must have something you want. And he says, yeah, I want you to leave. So he's like, no. And then something about the only way you're getting in here is coming through me, and that is something I would love to see. So he turns around and he turns him into the door, or he becomes the door, and then he walks through the door. And then it explodes in like the worst fucking special effects that you could possibly imagine in a movie that's just riddled with fucking wonderful practical effects. So it's like, why did you do this? Like, what the fuck did you need the CGI for? You probably could have came up with a creative way to turn him into a door and then walk through him without making it look like something from like the early episodes of the fucking Power Rangers. Jesus Christ. Anyway, overall though, like, this movie seems like it's been forgotten over the years. A lot of people used to think that, or still think that, it's directed by Wes Craven, because I've seen people put it on Wes Craven ranking lists, and I have to comment and be like, Wes Craven didn't direct this movie, stupid. Learn how to read. It says presented by Wes Craven. He just put his name on it, and then Robert Englund happened to be in it. But anyway, I'm kidding. You're not stupid just because you thought Wes Craven directed this movie. But if you haven't seen this movie, I couldn't recommend it enough, because this movie is criminally underrated. Why am I rating it already? Do you know? Because look at this, is the IMDb score. It's got the fucking 8.5. No, that's 5.8. What am I talking about anymore? But yeah, this movie like has one of the fucking craziest fucking third acts, because she finally, he got all of his wishes, that he can get the 3 wishes from her, and she doesn't want to wish for anything, but he's pressuring her to wish for stuff, tricks her into wishing to see what he is. He puts her inside of this gemstone with his 2 hellhounds, and then says, haha, bitch, now make a second wish. So she has to wish herself out of there. She's going to be trapped in there forever. Which, he probably wouldn't have let that happen, because he needs to fucking take over the world, and he needs the 3rd wish to take over the world. Well, then he finally, comes up with an idea to get her trapped, to make her have no choice but to make a third wish. And then he's at Robert Englund's house, and Robert Englund wants the same kind of party that guy at the beginning of the movie had. So then crazy shit starts happening. That's why I'm gonna cut the fucking rating out, or just leave it in there. I'll put a number on it at the end. I just wanted to stop and tell you that this movie's criminally underrated before we get to the part where we're talking about the end. And sure, there's some shoddy ass CGI, but god damn it, these fucking statues that come to life. If I could find the fucking video clip. Holy shit, and the contacts that they're wearing. Like, just everything about the third act and the practical effects that went into the third act. I mean, everything about the CGI in this movie is complete garbage. But all the practical effects are pretty on point. And this is just an amazing third act because, you know, it's all culminating into, oh, you better make that fucking third wish. And that third wish she makes is a doozy. And just in case you're one of those assholes out there that ain't seen this fucking movie, I'll just fucking keep it to myself. Because I absolutely love the resolution in this movie. So yeah, I mean, I'm only going to take 1 point off for the horrible dated, even though it's not the movie's fault that it has horrible dated CGI. So honestly, it is criminally underrated. And I would honestly give it a 9 out of 10 because this used to be one of my favorite movies, and it's been such a sad amount of time. It's a sad amount of time. Oh my God, it's been a really, really long time since I've seen this movie. So I felt compelled to talk about it, even though whoever posted saying that it was a 20-year anniversary obviously is just as good at math as I am at reading. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on Wishmaster or the Wishmaster, whatever the hell the name of the movie is. Maybe I'll watch the second one. Hell, maybe once I get done with the Texas Chainsaw franchise, I'll knock this one out because I've seen 15 minutes of the third one and I turned it off because they changed the fucking actor and it pissed me off because whoever this other asshole in the third one is a fucking asshole and I don't like him. But the second one is pretty much just as good as the first one, and we will talk about that one soon just for fun because hey, Halloween season's coming up, and what better time to start reviewing more horror films. Anyway, click those fucking buttons and then follow me on the socials. Actually, don't follow me on Twitter. I just put that on here for fun. I don't fucking tweet. I'm not a fucking teenage girl. I'm not a fucking celebrity that's just aching to fucking get blacklisted from Hollywood because I tweeted something about somebody being gay one time. Get the fuck out of here, will you?